This is big breaking emergency news. FBI insiders are now warning of major attacks inside the United States, and they are warning that these cells are already inside the United States and they're potentially going to be activated very soon. And they're also warning that they just foiled a major nationwide plot. All right, we just had a mass arrest in multiple different states, part of this network, all right, that has been entering our country from the southern border. This is what this FBI insider is warning of, and this is big. All right, this is major, and we knew this was coming. We know the country is wide open and defenseless right now, and we know that there are bad actors taking advantage and exploiting this, and now it's being confirmed. They just made a nationwide bust of all these people that are planning a major attack inside the US. Right? They had their phone tapped, and they're saying that they have evidence that they were about to do a major attack inside the US. Sorry, and they stepped in and they did mass arrests in multiple different states related to this criminal network that is operating inside the US. And they're saying there's hundreds and hundreds of these people, almost over 500, they're saying, that are inside the US that are related to these criminal terror organizations overseas. All right, so let's get into the details here. This is big, and this is why you just need to be out of major cities and major population zones. Try to be out in the country and as far away as possible, because if something like this ever did happen, whether it's orchestrated, whether it's false flag, anything like that, I'm not saying it is, but whether anything like that happens, anything weird happening, doesn't matter if it's fishy, it's going to be used to lock things down. Entire cities could potentially be locked down. And this was nationwide. They arrested people in Los Angeles, New York, multiple different states, coast to coast. They are arresting people. They just did, the FBI, because they were plotting a major attack inside the US, right? And they entered our country through the southern border. So let's get into the details here really quick. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big news. And I'm also keeping you guys updated multiple times a week behind the scenes on my Homestead channel. If you want to just see what's going on behind the scenes here on the Homestead, what I'm working on, the projects I got going on, it's nothing breaking news. I'll link that down below for you guys. I just posted a new video tonight for you guys. You can go check that out if you want to see some content like that after this video. And I also posted a video earlier today too. But let's get into the details here, all right? This is big, and FBI sources and insiders are saying that they just arrested 8 men that were plotting a nationwide attack, all right? This is big. This is what they're saying, and we've known that things like this are coming. Our country is wide open. Our country is extremely vulnerable, and we're honestly lucky that something like this hasn't happened before, right? That's why you need to be prepared and be ready, because the aftermath of this could be very big. Could be, 2001-esque, if you remember what happened then. The mobilization could be similar if something like this happened inside the United States at this level. But you can see here, 8 men arrested with ties to ISIS, feared to have been plotting potential terror in the US, sources say. You can see here, this is big, guys. This was just posted June 26th today, CBS News. We're lucky this didn't happen. All right, we're extremely lucky. You can see here, it says federal agents apprehended 8 men from Tajikistan, a Central Asian nation that borders Afghanistan, because they were concerned the men could have been plotting a possible attack on U.S. soil. Multiple sources familiar with the investigation told NBC. It says the 8 men were residing in Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia, and were taken into custody earlier this month and charged with violating U.S. civil immigration law. And why is this being allowed to happen? That's the question we need to be asking here. I'm not saying this is definitely what's happening, but just thinking potentially, why is this being allowed to happen? Maybe this is being allowed to happen because maybe someone wants something big like this to happen. So then things get locked down, things get shut down, and maybe even get shut down before the end of the year. Maybe somebody wants that. I'm not saying somebody does, but maybe somebody does, and maybe they're allowing things to get so bad and chaotic here that something like this is going to bubble over, all right? But then we have officials stepping in, all right, and telling us that this is really going on behind the scenes, right? And they're worried that they're plotting and doing this, all right? So there's a battle going on, all right? There's a battle. There's officers that are trying to stop this, and then there's other people that are just letting everyone in and allowing this to happen and letting people go. And then there's other departments that are trying to stop it, right? So there's like an internal battle going on inside of our federal government right now. It's like there's interagency battle, even agencies from different cities and states. I was even reading, I reported on this a couple months ago, how it was the San Diego sector was let one of these people in, just like this. They let someone in, and they knew who he was, and they just gave him an ankle monitor, and they knew he was on this watch list. And then the LA sector of ICE came in and arrested this guy, and was like, what the heck are you doing? Like 2 days later, like, why would you let this guy into the country? And got him out of here, right? Someone just like this, he was on a watch list, right? One of these watch lists where they know who's connected here. So there's like this internal battle going on inside our own government that nobody's really even notices, right? Nobody really thinks about this, but there are people trying to stop this, and then there's other people, it's like, I don't know what's going on. They're just allowing it, they just don't care, or maybe someone somewhere wants this to happen. I'm not saying they do, because I don't want to believe that. I don't even want to believe that in our country, but it's so insane. How else? What's the other explanation here at this point? I don't even see another explanation here. All right, but you can also see here, okay, or I want you to listen to this really quick. I want you to listen to this video of what's going on as well. This was reported by NBC News. This is what they just posted in the past 24 hours as well. This is a news report that they had. I'm going to play this for you so you can listen, and I'll show you some screenshots of it here, just so there's no copyright issues or anything like that, just so it falls under fair use, all right? Because sometimes there's issues playing these videos from news. Even though it's the news, it should be fine. These are like public news sources that get public funding, and I'm commenting on it. It should be fine, but sometimes I have an issue. So I'm just going to play this for you and show you guys some screenshots from it. But listen to these numbers. They're insane, all right? These are wild numbers, and this coincides with this attack they just stopped.
Tonight, NBC News has learned more than 50 migrants with potential ties to an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network are at large in America. Many illegally crossed the border and were released into the U.S. by Border Patrol because there was no information suggesting terror ties at the time. Now, their whereabouts are unknown as immigration agents look to arrest them, U.S. officials tell us, saying they're among a group of over 400 migrants DHS identified in the U.S. from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, and Russia as subjects of concern because they were brought to the U.S. by an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network, something the FBI director warned about earlier this year.
Some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about.
ICE has located and arrested over 150 of the 400 migrants so far, with some already deported from the U.S., officials say.
So you heard that there are over 400 people connected to this network, right? They're saying this is an international smuggling network that has its tentacles all the way on the other side of the world, all the way over here, up into US, up into your city, Philadelphia, New York, LA, these major cities. They have their tentacles all the way up and can get people all the way there. Of course they can. And we probably even paid for some of it. We might have even facilitated some of these people paying for their housing, their plane tickets, potentially. Right? These programs exist and they're very open access. They could have been flying on a plane next to you. You could have flown on a plane with some of these people. And there's no vetting. There's no real vetting. All right, I've covered a dozen videos on this, what's going on in the airports right now. And you could have been on a plane. You could have been on a plane with one of these people, over 400 that they know of, that they admit. And they're saying they've only removed 150. So there's still like 300 or 250 at least in the country, at least. Like, how do they not know where these people are? How do these people just disappear into our country, never to be seen again, right? I have to, we're constantly being tracked and traced. But then these guys, 300, that's just what they admit to, right? There's been close to 10 million people that have come over admittedly, right? Over 7 million encounters with Border Patrol since 2020, okay? Or since 2021, since the start of 2021, I guess. Over 7 million, I think it's 7.2 million encounters with Border Patrol, admittedly, and admittedly over 2 million gotaways as well that were not counted too. So it's close to 10 million, these numbers admitted, right, by the federal government, by DHS, Border Patrol. They came out with these numbers just a few months ago. I made a whole video on it, right? So 300, I guess, is low, all right? My point here is that the number could be much higher. That's what they know of, 300. Oh, there's still 300 here. There's 400. We removed 100 plus, all right? That's what we know of. That's what we know is here. There was almost 10 million people that entered into our country in the past 3 years. All right, so we don't know who's here. We don't know how many. We don't know what they've been doing, what they've been buying, what they've accumulated while they're here, what they've been plotting and planning. All right, so, and people just slip through the cracks when there's 10 million people coming in. Sometimes, I remember reporting one day in December, there were 13,000 people in one day that crossed the U.S. southern border. 13,000, right? And in December, there were over 300,000 people total in December, right? That crossed. It's a ton. It's an astronomical amount. And 13,000 a day, you can't process that many people. There's not enough Border Patrol agents. When the system's overwhelmed like that, they're just like signing papers and stuff and just, letting people come back to a hearing or whatever they do. Okay, so the system's being overwhelmed. And this is part of it, all right? We're going to have people take advantage of it. They're going to slip through the cracks and then potentially cause major disruptions and major attacks inside the U.S. Right? They're saying that they foiled this plot, potentially. So make sure you are just getting ready, getting prepared, getting stocked up, all right? Because if something like this does happen in one of these major cities, the cities are going to be on lockdown. It's going to be like potentially a martial law scenario in these urban scapes. National Guard everywhere, police everywhere, stay in your home, don't leave. Everything's going to be locked down, all right? And people are going to panic buy. Shelves might become empty quickly, So just make sure you're stocked up preemptively, have your preps ready, and try your best to start getting out of the cities and start growing your own food, right? Because that's the best preventative, is just to be away from these major centers and be insulated and isolated in case anything happens. Then you're away from it, right? And you have your own food, you're growing your own food, and you have your own preps, and it's not really affecting you. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to keep living your life, right? So that's the key here, is to be insulated from these things. That's always my strategy, is just to not let it affect me, really, right? Be aware. I like to be aware of what's going on in the world, but at the same time, it doesn't affect me. I still wake up every day. I still take care of my kids every day. I still feed my dog every day. I still feed my chicks every day. I still do the work I need to do every single day. It doesn't matter really what's going on. You still have to keep going, right? So thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there. I appreciate that. It helps to get these warnings out so people know. And go check out that Homestead channel too that I linked down below. If you want to just see what I'm doing behind the scenes, I just posted a new video on there. You can check that out. You want to see some chicken action, all right? So thank you guys, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.